service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab. Greetings, I'm Bud Lowell. The full AccuWeather forecast right across the top of every CNC local news page. State Police and Monroe County Sheriff's deputies were on the St. John Fisher College campus late last night and early Wednesday morning after the pursuit of a robbery suspect turned into an attempted carjacking. According to the sheriff's office, 26-year-old Michael Mahoney of Fairport tried to rob a woman outside a restaurant in Macedon in Wayne County. He fled with village police in pursuit. They eventually discontinued their chase because the high speeds posed a risk to the public. But the suspect went on until he crashed his car on I-490 near the Fisher campus in Pittsford. Mahoney then allegedly hopped a fence onto the campus. There he assaulted a college employee and tried to steal her car. Two other employees ran to her defense, one of them with a baseball bat. In the resulting dust-up, Mahoney got a hold of the bat and hit one of the Fisher employees with it. Then he ran. Deputies caught him a short time later. All three victims were hurt. Two were taken to area hospitals, one to Strong, the other to Rochester General. Mahoney has been charged with felony assault, attempted robbery, resisting arrest, DWI, and assorted traffic violations. The sheriff's office says he has a record of multiple arrests. Eastman Kodak filed a 194-page amended version of its reorganization plan with the U.S. District Court in New York City Tuesday, seeking approval to issue 34 million shares of new common stock to its creditors. A hearing will be held on the plan next week before the bankruptcy court. Now, if approved, Kodak would offer stock worth $406 million to its frontline creditors. The new stock worth $11.94 per share, and that's about 85% of the equity Kodak will have when it comes out of bankruptcy. Voters in the village of Brockport decided on change Tuesday. Incumbent Mayor Connie Castaneda is out in favor of village trustee Margay Blackman. Unofficial results showed 355 votes for Castaneda, 613 for Blackman, and 3 write-ins. Castaneda was the candidate of the taxpayers' first ticket. She was running after being arrested last year on official misconduct charges. She was accused of violating village zoning laws by renting out rooms in her home to students from the State University College at Brockport. She was cleared of the criminal charges last week. Castaneda said the charges were politically motivated because she investigated abolishing the village police department. Her term as mayor tapped into a long-running dispute in Brockport between residential homeowners and landlords who rent out their houses to students. Blackman, by the way, is a retired SUNY Brockport professor. The Rochester City Council has approved Mayor Tom Richards' $481 million budget for 2014. Included in it the amendment that saves the majority of the police department's mounted patrol. The plan is to keep 4 of the 7 officers and 5 of their mounts in service. The remaining 3 officers will be moved to the RPD tactical unit. Mayor Richards originally wanted to move all 7 officers to the tactical unit, saying taxpayers would get more service if those officers were keeping down gang activity and street crime. But public sentiment convinced council and the mayor to work out the compromise. Police Chief James Shepard says the mounted patrol does a great job of community engagement and controlling crowds, although the department's priority is violence reduction. The Monroe County Legislature approved a local law Tuesday night that will eventually add 30 cents a month to your cell phone bill in order to help fund the 911 call center. The measure passed 20-3 with bipartisan support. The local law is actually a request that goes next to the state legislature in Albany for approval before it can take effect. Now, landline users already pay a 911 surcharge, but as more of us switch to wireless phones, that source of funding has been drying up. 47 of New York's 62 counties have already adopted a wireless surcharge to fund their emergency call centers. State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli put Monroe County at the top of his list of 24 fiscally stressed communities. DiNapoli began rating local government finances last year according to a fiscal stress score that his office developed. It tracks 23 financial and environmental indicators. Monroe County's score is 82.1%, and that was the highest of the 24 counties, towns, and cities in the report that he released on Tuesday that qualified Monroe County as being in significant fiscal stress. Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks fired back that the reason Monroe and other counties are under fiscal stress in the first place is because of state mandates. She says 83% of Monroe County's spending is actually being dictated by the state of New York, with Medicaid and the state pension system the biggest drains on county resources. And Brooks notes that, of course, Comptroller DiNapoli is the administrator of the state pension system. Brooks also said it would be hypocritical to call Monroe County the most financially distressed when the Comptroller has only reviewed 8 of New York's 62 counties so far. Here are some details now on what we mentioned yesterday just as a headline. The University of Rochester Medical Center is indeed acquiring Lakeside Hospital in Brockport and will reopen Lakeside as an outpatient service center called Strong West. This announcement came less than 2 months after Lakeside closed its doors because the state couldn't help afford to keep it open and the hospital was unable to pay a $25 million debt. Lakeside's board says it will sell most of the system's assets to the URMC. The University Medical Center, of course, operates Strong Memorial Hospital and its various affiliates. It will buy the Lakeside West Avenue campus in Brockport, rename it Strong West, and the university will set up an urgent care center there, possibly as early as August. It's also applying for State Health Department approval to reestablish the Lakeside Emergency Department. U of R officials don't plan to make it a full-service hospital again, at least at this time, because of the cost. But they are looking to reopen the labs, radiology department, and pharmacy in support of patients and doctors in western Monroe County. The defense rested its case Tuesday in the murder and arson trial of Webster teenager Michael Pilato, accused of killing his father and 2 brothers by setting fire to their home in December of 2011. Final arguments are taking place Wednesday. The jury viewed a taped interview of Pilato recorded in August of 2012. In it, a forensic psychiatrist working for the defense questioned Pilato about his state of mind. The defense in this trial doesn't contest that Pilato burned the house down. Their forensic experts testified that the then 15-year-old was in a state of extreme emotional disturbance, known as EED, when he set the fire. If the jury is convinced, it could consider a lesser charge of manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. Spencerport firefighters responded shortly before 4 Tuesday afternoon for the report of a head-on collision at Union Street and Ogden-Parma Town Line Road. According to Monroe County Firewire, they found 2 people trapped in the wrecked cars and cut them out, and they supplied these photos. Ogden police said both were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. They had to close Union Street for a couple of hours at the crash site. And one of the men who was the subject of the manhunt in Ontario County this week has been captured in New York City. Geneva police say Jonathan Rivera is in the custody of the NYPD and he's being brought back to Ontario County. The 25-year-old is one of 4 men involved in a shooting incident and police chase on Sunday. The 4 crashed their pickup truck at the junction of routes 14 and 96 in the town of Phelps. The driver allegedly pointed a gun at police and was shot. A second suspect was picked up walking along Route 14 early Monday. The 4th suspect, Andre Escalera, is still at large. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other subjects, and at the bottom of the page, links you can use to post what you know directly to us. Next podcast is As It Happens, updates as necessary, and I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.